If you've tried out doing specials and sales to bring in more commissions and they're not working, you need to learn why they didn't work. So stick around and I'll talk about my own experience, what worked and what didn't. Hello, I'm Grim, a freelance artist, and I used to do monthly specials for my art commissions, but I recently stopped doing them. Some artists offering commissions think that sales and specials make people more excited to buy their work. The issue with this, though, is that oftentimes these sales require us to give up the small margin we're making after platform fees and labor and everything else we need to do for commissions. Now that I've stopped doing monthly specials, I've really burned out on my workload, and I haven't spent time making things that weren't going to pay off. So, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this dilemma. Let's start with what is a monthly special/sale. So, when I say monthly special, I mean any sort of sale or service for my commissions on top of what I already offer. This can range from discounts, seasonal your character hears, and deals where ordering a certain amount gets you bonus art. These are normally pretty enticing and can work well when done right, but a lot of the time they aren't. One of the few times when I have found a special sale to actually be worth it was getting verified on VGen. Since there's a time limit, which is to earn $100 in 30 days, get 3 reviews, and a 4.6 star rating, and 10 followers is basically the requirements. But because of that time limit, it makes sense to do a sale to create a sense of urgency. For that, I was clear about the goal of the sale, which was to get verified, and offered a bonus sketch to those who not only commissioned, but left a review as well. Outside that time, though, most of the time I've lost money doing monthly sales. So, if I lost money doing those sales, why was I doing them in the past? I thought it would be genuinely helpful. And I'll admit, it is fun sometimes to plan those. Timely commissions usually get quite a bit more traction, but they can be hard to keep up with. If you don't predict what people will want from you correctly, the sale just kind of ends up as a failure after all the effort you spent getting it together. So, what are the problems I ran into with sales? I ran into 3. The first one was my workload. It is so much easier to burn out when I have to add creating a sale with special graphics and potentially a new your character here drawing or bonus drawing to my existing workload. While they weren't the only thing that needed to get shifted off my plate to not burn out regularly, they weren't helping. The second concern I ran into is that it is genuinely hard to figure out what clients want from you when you don't have a large audience. Any work you do for your commissions that isn't a commission costs you money as a freelance artist. So, if you spend time creating sales and bases and adopts that people don't actually want, you end up having wasted your time. I am looking directly at my Pride Monster adopts. I love them so dearly, but only 3 of the 7 that I made sold at half price. I will not be making more adopts anytime soon after that. The other problem that I ran into is that I did monthly specials too often. Doing those specials regularly doesn't make them special. If you run a sale all the time, it is not a sale, it is just the regular price. So, how did not doing sales fix my problems? For me, I stopped doing them frequently. I still open up my old seasonal Your Character Here's because I tend to sell a couple each time, and once they're set up, they don't cost me anything to reopen, so it's no big deal if they don't sell at all. But by not forcing myself to do monthly specials for commissions, I can choose more mindfully when I do sales. It means that my patrons who get discounts on commissions are a bit more special, which is what they deserve. It means that I can focus on improving my art and what I offer rather than trying to keep up with the current season. However, I do think it can be worthwhile to occasionally set up sales and Your Character Here's and adopts and bases and all that, because they don't require as active of effort in the long run. However, if you don't have a solid grasp on what your clients are actually interested in getting from you, I wouldn't recommend them. Save yourself the stress and focus on offering something you enjoy making that pays off instead. Other advice I've seen around regarding commission sales is the following. See what people are searching for and already buying. Offer your own unique spin on what's popular so people have a reason to commission you over someone else. And only offer discounts to your repeat clients. There are people who are less likely to stress you out, so treating them well is worthwhile for you. It's easier work, it's more consistent, and everybody wins. I will say I would definitely like to start offering discounts to repeat clients in the future. I have plans for it, but for now those are reserved for my patrons on Patreon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video wasn't too much of a bummer and was more of a word of caution for commission artists thinking about offering regular sales or planning some for the holiday season. We tend to get a lot of work this time of year, making gifts for others, so if you decide to do a special of some kind, I hope you plan it mindfully. And for those of you who might be commissioners, I hope this video offered some insight into why artists might not always run sales. We're a lot closer to designer boutique shops than big box stores, so we just don't have the means to stretch ourselves thin all the time. However, in the meantime, if you learned something or had a good time, don't forget to like and subscribe. That sort of thing tells YouTube that this video was worthwhile to watch. I don't know what I'll make next. I talk about art, you get to see my cute mug, and I do my best to be honest and have fun here. Anyway, with that, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!